Welcome to the Fit Small Business Case Study. This is Tim Yoder. Today I will be evaluating Zoho Books on Chapter 4 of the Fit Small Business Case Study. Chapter 4 deals primarily with banking and cash management, mostly with the bank reconciliation feature, but we'll look at a few other things as well. Let's get started here. So the first couple of questions deal with whether the software can connect to the bank account, so like an automatic bank feed, and if the software will upload a file of transactions for people that don't want to allow automatic access to their bank account. So from our dashboard, let's go to our banking. Here we can see that we can import a statement. So this is importing a file with your transactions in it as opposed to establishing a live bank feed. Some people prefer to do this. And you can see here you can do CSV files, XLS files. Those would probably be your two most popular. But in order to do this, first you have to download the bank statement from your bank account, from your bank's website, and then you can upload it to the program here. It does not allow a QBO file, which is a file specifically made for QuickBooks, but that a lot of other software will allow you to upload, but you can do it as a CSV or XLS. Those would both be popular files. Okay, so yes, we can import our banking activity as statements versus establishing a live connection if you prefer to do that. Okay. Can we establish a live connection if we want to? I believe we can. So I think if we probably have to go into the account, and in our options, I think the live feed is what they refer to as the automatic import. And here we go. So now we find the bank account we want, and we're going to have to log in as though we're logging into our bank account, and then it'll establish a live feed where whenever there's a transaction on your website, it downloads it into your Zoho Books. So some people don't like to do that. That's certainly the easiest way to do things, but some people don't like to allow their software access to their bank account. As far as I know, it's as secure as anything else. But you do have the option here to import month by month through the statements. Okay, excellent. So we're not going to do either because the case study is very hard to evaluate the bank feed because you can't establish a fake bank account. So we're going to do this manually. So we're going to do a reconciliation. Let's go ahead and score it here. So we were able to establish that live connection to the bank account. Okay, so let's do a bank reconciliation. So I have a little bank statement sketched out here that we're going to reconcile our checking account to. So this is what you would do every month when you receive your bank statement. So I think over here we have the option to reconcile the account. Now this is something that outside of QuickBooks, most bookkeeping software does not do good at all. But I think this one is going to work. So let's do reconcile now. Start date, we'll do it for the month of November. Our closing balance on this little statement I sketched out, I think, should be $86.37.50, and let's start the reconciliation. Okay, good. So this is kind of what I'm expecting. This looks great. Okay, so our cleared amount is $10,000. The difference is $86.37.50. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to go through each of these transactions and we want to trace them to our bank statement. So I'm looking at my bank statement and the opening balance was $10,000. So I'm going to click that. Telephone expense of $150. Yes, that cleared. The payment of $200 cleared. The payment of $1,200. So I'm just comparing these statements to my bank statement. All of these cleared my bank statement, so I'm selecting them on this screen to show that they cleared. Okay, and yes, the deposit. And again, notice the deposit was like 3 checks plus some cash, and it's showing up here. This is from our Zoho Books. It's showing up here as one amount, and so I can trace that single amount to the bank statement very easily. Okay. And then these two items are outstanding. So these things are items that have not cleared my bank statement yet, so I'm not going to uncheck them. Okay, so now we have a $120 difference. So I look at my bank statement. And I go, okay, so it looks like there was a $100 automatic withdrawal for insurance expense that I forgot to book, and also a $20 bank service charge that I forgot to book. So now we need to book those transactions. And let's see if it allows us a fairly easy way to do it. Here we go. Check this out. Add transaction. Very nice. Don't even have to leave the screen. Okay, it's going to be a withdrawal. We'll say it's going to be on the 11th from our, do we have an insurance expense? You know, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to book it to other expenses. The amount was $100. Okay, click Save. And there we go. It showed up, and it even marked it as cleared already. Now I looked through my bank statement. I think the remaining $20 was the bank fee. That has not been recorded, so I'm going to add a transaction. This time we'll add it on November 30th, I suppose. Let's see. Bank service charges. Again, just doesn't matter. We're just going to stick it to, actually, I don't want it to an income account. Oh, here we need to do withdrawals. There we go. It's a bank service charge, but I'm just going to stick it to other expenses. Doesn't really matter for our case study. And hit save. And there we go. So it entered that $20 expense. Now, if you have an expense that you need to enter where you need to put a lot more detail, then you're going to want to leave this reconciliation screen and go record it as normal so that you can put, maybe the class and the location, a customer to be billed. This doesn't, when you add it on the screen, it doesn't allow you to have a lot of detail. Let's actually open up that add transaction screen one more time. Yeah, I don't see any way to put much detail here at all. Perhaps we can enter it here and then go enter the details later. We'll check that out. Okay, so looks like we're now in balance. So we have these two items that are our outstanding checks, and otherwise we are in balance. So I am going to go ahead and click reconcile, and the account has been reconciled. Very good. Okay, so let's see what our case study wants us to look at here. So can we view our outstanding transactions after the reconciliation? Let's see if this gives us a report. Opening, closing does not give us the outstanding. Don't like that. Opening, closing. Okay, these unmatched are not unreconciled. So here it gives us our two unreconciled. So unmatched and unreconciled are different. Unmatched means we haven't matched it to a transaction coming through either the bank feed or the imported bank statement. Yeah, so can we sort by this at least? No. I don't like that you don't have a separate section for your unreconciled transactions, because it's really important to keep track of those. You want to review them every month to make sure that they appear proper, because if something is unreconciled after 3 or 4 months, it needs some investigation to see perhaps the entry on your Zoho Books was wrong. Maybe the person lost their check, something like that. So they really need to be in a separate section so that you can very easily see them, because you can imagine if you have, hundreds and hundreds of transactions, you don't want to have to go through and look for each individual unreconciled item. So I don't like that. But let's go to our report here. Let's go to reports and see if perhaps there's a better statement. Yeah, it looks like it's just this one statement that we just looked at. Okay, yeah, I don't care for that. Oh, here, what if we uncheck this? Okay, there we go. So we can uncheck this box, and then it gives us only the unreconciled. Okay, and that's what we need to do. Okay, very good. So it does give it to us, just hidden a little bit. Okay, so we very easily opened the bank reconciliation. This worked really well. A lot of other than QuickBooks, a lot of bookkeeping software actually doesn't let you reconcile unless you use the bank feed. So we entered the ending balance of the checking. Now we weren't able to enter the monthly fee as part of the reconciliation process. We had to enter it as a separate transaction. It'd be very nice if when you enter the ending balance, you could also just record your monthly service fee. We had to do that in a separate transaction. So then we selected the transactions that cleared the bank. We were able to view our outstanding transactions. There was a button for save the reconciliation to return later. We could finalize it and we could print the report. And do credit cards have the same features? My guess is they do within this banking module. Yeah, our credit card payable is showing up here. Let's click into it. Yeah, it has all the same features that our checking account has. Excellent. Okay, and that is Zoho Books, the banking and cash management features for the Fit Small Business case study.